any certification I prepare, I tried multiple other platforms as well, but uh, this one was really helpful for me. So that's why I was sharing this specific tool, Notion. Here I can show you the end result, and then I will take you step by step how it can be helpful. So for example, this is notes for the solution architect associate I prepared. This material you can see like something toggle button, and you can do it. This kind of setup helps me to recall. You can easily restructure it like XYZ part from one location to another location. That makes your life more easy. This generally gives you a neat view. The problem with AWS is more like when they introduce a service, they don't introduce a full picture. For example, S3, they will introduce as a storage service, but then deep into it, the same S3 will be used for static website hosting in some cases. And in some cases, like all the CloudWatch logs can be stored in S3. So there are multiple purpose for a single service. And if you're adding a hand nodes, then it can get tricky to keep updated. Whereas if you go to digital, you can classify once you have all the rough nodes accumulated, and you can restructure it based on your own need. And this also helps me if I'm going and interviewing someone, or if I want to prepare for some other exams. I can see like if a candidate I'm interviewing is like a high level candidate, I generally go into the professional concept and see like what I can ask them in a real time. Or same way, like if it's a mid level, I can see like based on what role I'm interviewing, I have an idea like what kind of things I covered at level based. So that is a second brain for me. Also, you can export this as a PDF or HTML or even Markdown. You can also share your notes to your friends or colleagues who are actually preparing, so that they don't need to start from scratch. In the same way, when there is an update of the certification, you can just duplicate it, and then you have the fresh copy, and you can just edit it as per your need. And also, if you see, you can also attach the PDF or reference links towards it. So there are like a number of things can be possible in the Notion. So this is a generic overview. So now I will give you a quick tutorial kind of what are the basic functionalities I regularly use. So if I go for another one, let's say a fresh workspace. Generally, the notions are like having workspace, which is like each workspace contains pages in it. If you have a college email ID, in case if your college had the email ID, then you get the education plan for free. So in my case, I'm using my college email ID, though I passed out like 8 years ago, but still my college is having the active email ID. So I'm continuing using that under education plus plan. To create a page, it's quite easy. Like you just use slash and then page. So all the things in Notion comes with a slash, and then it gives you a multiple options over there. You can create a page, you can create a text block, you can create to-do list, heading, and so on. So first thing we generally do is you create a page, and then you can give it a title for it. Here, if you see, it's at the middle place. In case if you want to expand it, you can go to the top right and say full width. This will expand you the page. And the beauty of this is you can use page and you can create a sub page within it. So for example, I can say like slash, and I can do like another page, and this is going to act like sub. The same thing I can do like a full width. So this is your actual page, and then you are having like a sub page, and you can reorder it in a number of ways. I can create one more page, let's say trial, and same I can do it as a full width. And if you see, demo is major page, and then I'm adding a two sub page. So in case if you're preparing for certification and stuff like that, you can have one for the main topic, and then you can have subtopics over there. Everything will comes as a block, and you can reorder it. And same way, you can also make it as a text, just typing. Even it supports Markdown. So if you know Markdown, you can say like it's a list. If you want to use heading, then this will be like a heading one. And if you do double hash, it's going to be heading. It supports a Markdown language as well. If you want to add a code snippet, the triple slash, you can add a code block. Even it supports that. Also, you can do the toggling functionality, which I generally use for recall purpose. So let's say like recall VPN, and I can do like what is VPN and those kind of notes. We can add it, and you can do it as a recall. So once you have the basic things, maybe I can do like questions, and you can bring that in a specific section. So once you have like a cumulative section of notes, you can categorize it based on a heading wise, and you can move it accordingly. You can also take a screenshot and paste the screenshot. So if you're reading from Udemy or any learning material, you don't need to type what is there in the slide, or you don't need to have a separate slide. As you prepare for the exam, you can take a quick screenshot. You can also use the same toggling functionality. You move it here, the screenshot goes within that. And when I recall, I can just do this way. So this toggle functionality comes super useful when you're preparing for any exam or certification so that you can hide it. Also, your notes won't go lengthy. Since you're toggling the size of the notes also will be like comparatively reduced. And you can also use something like this. So one for questions, and then you can have another one like parallel way. So that one may be like something concept. Let's say if I'm doing like security, then you can do options like this as well. So this is generally helpful, and you can also move already existing one under each section. So it's all about like moving blocks, and then you categorize it later. Once you study, we just focus on taking notes, not about organizing it. Once you have some rough draft, you can duplicate the page, and then you can as per your structure. The other additional concept when it comes to the Notion, it also supports calendar. If you want to maintain your own calendar, you can do that. The main thing which I use is there is something called a database within Notion. If I go for database, either you can use it as an inline or full page. I generally go with inline. So it looks more like a normal table which you use, but the thing is you can map pages in it. So for example, to refer an existing page, you use at the rate and then the page name, and then you can go and open that takes you to that specific page. And so you see like the parameters over there, it contains tags. You can also have something like number, or if you want to do a drop down, you can choose select option, and you can, let's say, done. You can also add like waiting, so it keeps created, and you can build your own database like this, and within the database you can refer the other pages for it. So if you're creating something like topic wise notes, then this can come handy, and then you can add tags for it, something like this. And if you go and open it, all those tags will become sent to the centralized page itself. You can go to the specific page, and then you can change the status or add the number, and you can also mention the comments. Let's say something like status update or date of recall. You have a single page, you're creating a table and referring to some other place. Let's keep it as a demo table for here. Once the table is created, this also offers you a different view. For example, you can filter based on name or tags and view options. You can something like a board. If you're using it for a Jira kind of thing, like Kanban board, then you can easily move from one to another. You have multiple things like subgroup dependencies and stuff. And if no one wants to link it, then you can use a blog database thing. And you can also copy the link of the blog, and you can reuse it in some other place. So, or you can share it with. So this will take you to that specific blog. So it has very rich features and rich functionality which comes handy. I will show some demo page which I have used for my certificate preparation or any learning I do. Like if you see in the sidebar, like what are the topics, like whatever I learn, it generally goes over here. Like I have separate page for AWS, and then the sub page consists of like per certification base which I have prepared. And if I go, for example, if I go with sysops administrator, you see I studied from Linux Academy. So the specific the reference material from where I studied, even that I have mapped over here. And if you come down, like I always follow this toggle option so that everything is over here, and I can just go and check it out. And to recall, like for example, if someone asks like what is STS, then you check like what are the things being referred or what you have added at the time of it. If some topic is repeated, then you can go to the existing one. Like for example, the DevOps professional consists of more repeated topics in sysops admin and developer associate. Then you can just copy the specific code block, and you can just paste it in your DevOps professional. So those kind of things would be like more really helpful. And so this one I have tackled based on like a specific service and all the concepts under that way. So it can come very handy when you are talking about or adding more notes. And this would be like a very hard process if you are going with analog note taking, because the certifications do expire and you would need to keep preparing each time. So if you have this, then you can just re-prepare it. So if you recall, I made a recent LinkedIn post like just prepared for Terraform Associate. So if you see for Terraform Associate, I already have the database based concept. Like we have the page for introduction, and then I also have like what are the things relevant pages and any notes specific to it. So if I go there, then this consists of the specific notes and tag, so that I can just go and recall on any new topic it comes into picture, or anything got changed, or if any new things got changed. And here I also maintained some centralized page also, which is for like, you know, because when we do day to day, we might not using everything and our brain gets refreshed. So if you want to recall it, like how the logging works, then you just come here and check for it. So that makes your life more easy. Same way if you use, it also consists of the search button. Like I use Mac. In Mac, Command K will take you to the pages, and you can search with the one that will suggest you the pages over there. And if you do search, you can also search for keywords within the pages as well. So searchability also, like, it's very optimized, and this tooling also provides you. They have option in Android and iOS as well. So I have used it for, like, sometimes I use it for grocery tracking as well, for the personal one. Only one disadvantage I've seen as part of the Notion is, if you're using it for mobile, then it needs internet. So without internet, it won't load any page. At least in laptop, it has the cache, but in mobile, it will just show a blank screen. It needs internet for the pages to load and to display. And sometimes the loading can be a bit laggy when you're using mobile. But I generally use learning in the laptop, so I haven't faced any difficulty yet for my end. So this is something I use day to day. For any topic I study, I follow the same pattern, like have a database and multiple things, and also have something like in progress or completed status. If you want to continue, I just go here, like, see what are the latest notes. You recall yourself, brush up, you continue from where you left, so that we don't need to waste time, like going through all the lectures, or go to all the sources from where you learn and gather information. This can come and act as a centralized second brain for you. So that's what I call it as, and this concept is like really helpful.